What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Today is Wednesday, February 1st. January's done, 2023. My name's Jeremy, and this is my first cup. I want to say good morning to all of you. Good morning, Stacy, Liz, Rebecca, Frank, Brian, Kelly, Dennis, and everybody else out there. I don't care if you're watching right now or later or listening, or you have transcribed the episodes into a book and are sitting in a quiet corner reading this. That would be weird, but I don't care if you're doing that. Thanks for coming by. A couple minutes late, as many, maybe even all of you know, I am headed away for a little while today, and that created a little bit of chaos in my morning routine. And I thought I had everything timed out right, but I did not. So I was a couple minutes late. I'll give you your money back. One thing before we jump in. I was awoken last night with some thoughts on some things, and I'm going to spare you most of the details, but the short of it is, if you are not on Facebook, if the only way that you see these notifications is because you like Whistlekick on Facebook, go like the First Cup page. Okay. One of the things that we're going to be doing, the short of it is, I've realized we put too much through the Whistlekick page on Facebook, and we need to start sectioning things off. So this is going to be the first thing that gets carved off. Those streams are not going to show up on the Whistlekick page anymore. Okay, so this is your last day of doing it on the Whistlekick page. Starting tomorrow, it will be the First Cup page as well as the others. And ultimately, there will be a separate YouTube channel and everything else. I've got to make those. But for now, I'm letting you know, okay? Because we learned last week that if you're on one, you can't see the comments from people on the other. Okay. Good morning, Tommy. Dennis says, Happy Woos Day. Good morning, Andy. Stacy mentioned above, welcome to February. Yeah, it was -1 when I got up. I got to say, I'm pretty good at picking the times to leave, aren't I? If you remember last year, there was a whole big thing that was about to happen. And it happened right when I left, because I was only gone for a week. And I figured, you know what? I'll make it back before it becomes too disastrous, if it's going to become disastrous. And I did. I would love to say that I'm planning it that way, that I'm psychic. I'm not psychic. Yesterday was a busy day because I got everything ready to go, had 3 recording episodes. I did all the financial stuff, which needed to be done, watered the plants, packed my suitcase, and went, oh, I'm down to 1 functional zipper on this whole big duffel. Well, that's not going to work. So I ran out and got another suitcase, found a great deal at TJ Maxx for $70. And there's actually extra room. So who knows what I may come back with, depending on, what I see at this place that I'm going that I'm not telling you yet. Some of you will start to figure it out when I get there, or if you follow me on social media, you may start to figure some things out. Andy says, where are you going? I'm not telling you. You'll have to figure it out. Oh, come on, comment. There you go. Frank says, will you be missing any episodes of the show due to travel? The only one that I'm pretty sure I will miss is when I come back on the 14th. That one, just the flight's early enough that I highly doubt it. But, there is a possibility that I'm at the airport at that point already. And if that's the case, then maybe I'll find a quiet corner. I don't know. We'll figure it out. what else did I do? I had recorded all the intros and outros for the episodes I recorded. Yet 3 great episodes. Really was 3 absolutely amazing episodes of the show. 2 Steves in a row, and their episodes are airing in a row. That's fun. It's a common enough name that doesn't give anything away. But what else did I do? I packed, I picked up, I went to the gym. It was a lot of busy stuff around here. Oh, you know what else I did? There were 4 boxes of sparring gear over there. Now I'm not going to be able to ship because I'll be gone. And there are notices on the website in like several places, but you can still order. There are a bunch of people who've been waiting on gear. In fact, some of you I know have mentioned, wanting gear for your students, and it's all here. We are, and I'm not convinced that they sent me everything I asked for. But then again, I did order this like 2 months ago. Everything for black and red, all sizes of helmets, gloves, and boots are in stock right now. That will change quickly because it does not seem to matter how much I order. It goes out of something, and it's never what I expect. Something goes out of stock in like 2 weeks. So if you want first crack, go for it now. I will be sending out emails today or tomorrow to our wholesale customers and to everyone else. Hey, gear's in stock, grab it. Good morning, Gabe. Gabe says, good to be here live again. This is the first time I've been here live in a few months because of my job, and they didn't have enough work for a full crew today. So I took the day to keep working on seminary. Awesome. Bummer that you didn't have work, but great that you didn't have work. Right? Stacy says, airport safety tips live from the airport. Hey, maybe. Don't dress like that person. Don't do that. Get your head out of your phone while you're walking. That's one of the things. The next child that nearly bumps into me at the gym because they're walking around like this, I'm going to stop them and say, hey, phones are for when you're not moving. Go sit down and look at your phone. You're a risk to people. You're going to bump into somebody doing something and hurt them. Stop it. And he says, when do I leave? My flight is at 11 a.m. Managed to get a friend to bring me and pick me up, which is great because while our parking garage at the airport is not terribly expensive, it's like $14 a day. Across 14 days, that's a little more than I feel like spending to leave my car there, especially since my flights are not at crazy times. So I'll take this friend to dinner and spend half as much. Ha! I've got a 3-hour layover in Kennedy Airport. That's the not JFK, New York one, in case you didn't know. 3 hours, 3.5 hours. I'll do a little bit of work. And then I get back on the plane and I fly to this other place, which it's only a few hours. I'm managed to get some upgrades when I booked this. So flying first class. If you've never flown first class, I've had a couple people say, well, I've never flown first class. What's the difference? They treat you like a human being. It's the best way I can describe it. They treat you with respect, and they're courteous, and there are cookies. It should not be as big of a deal as it is. The only reason it's a big deal is because when you fly coach, they treat you like garbage. The first time I flew first class, and this is when I realized what was really going on. My backpack was on the ground. I use a backpack as a carry-on. Technically a personal item. And it was on the floor in front of me. And one of the straps was a little bit out in the aisle. And I realized we had taken off. My backpack was not under the seat in front of me. I had a part of my backpack in the aisle. And the flight attendant didn't care. Now, if I had done that in coach, I would be threatened with being thrown off the plane. It's a whole different experience. And I went back and forth because it's, it did cost me a little bit more, but not a lot more. And actually some of the regular flights I looked at to places I was thinking of going, a coach ticket was the same price as what I spent on first class here. it's nice to be able to bookend your vacation with as little stress as possible. Now, this isn't quite a vacation because I am working. I'll be working pretty much every day, but I'll be working from someplace else and not doing as much of it. Good morning, Jenny. Stacy says, and there's much more room. Dennis says, I was today years old when I learned there was another Kennedy Airport. And yes, I'm flying out of Burlington. Dennis says, we flew first class for our honeymoon. It's been so hard to fly since then. Such a remarkable difference. Yep. This is why a lot of people standardize on one airline so you can accumulate points and, be more likely to get upgrades and everything. Being here in Vermont, we don't have very many flights. So I have not really standardized. It's probably Delta, but I fly American and United. It's probably 40% Delta, 30% the other two. But I'm excited. Andrew sent me a message, are you going to train while you're down there? And the answer is I hope to. I hope to find a school. There is very little on the internet about this place that I'm going and the schools in the area. There are a couple MMA gyms. There's a Taekwondo gym in an area that looks a little sketchy, at least from what I can see. But I figured I'll get there and I'll ask around. There's probably something. It's a large enough area. So I'll ask around. Maybe there's something. Heck, maybe I'll end up teaching. That'd be kind of fun. I've never taught martial arts I'll spoil this part, in another country. Most of you probably guessed I was leaving the country. Now, I think Frank sent some stuff over. I'm pretty sure I saw that. Let me double check. Yep. All right. Thank you to Frank for all of your work on the show. Thank you to Josh for our theme song. Thank you to Denise for the audio feed. Yes, remember, if you miss an episode of First Cup, you can check it out in audio. I think that's the thing I was thinking of. There was a thing I was like, as I'm half asleep, you ever have this? I got to remember that. I'll remember it. I didn't remember it, but I think I just remembered it, so I'm happy. Jenny says, training in a sketchy area is like getting free real-life experience to test your skills. It could be. Or I could be stepping into a school that is that sees visitors as free punching bags. Actually, one of our guests talked about that yesterday, one of their early experiences at a school that they trained in. You got to be careful. Doesn't mean it has to consume your entire life, but you have to make smart decisions. Otherwise, you may not get the opportunity to make decisions ever again. Today's material, I don't have context here. Frederick Morty. A wealthy white woman once wanted someone to chop wood for her, and apparently having no one to do the job, she approached a man who was strolling by. She asked him if he would like to earn some money cutting wood for her. The man smiled. Without a word, he rolled up his sleeves and proceeded to carry out the task. When he finished chopping the wood, he arranged them neatly. The lady thanked him profusely. As soon as he left, a servant girl whispered into her ear. The next morning, she was at his office, full of apologies. I didn't know it was you I put to work, she said, thoroughly embarrassed. It's perfectly all right, madam, the man famously replied. Occasionally, I enjoy a little manual labor. Besides, it's always a delight to do something for a friend. Soon after that incident, the appreciative woman reciprocated the kind gesture by persuading her rich friends to join her in donating thousands of dollars to the man that happened to be a prominent black educator named Booker T. Washington. Washington, who later founded the renowned Tuskegee Institute in Alabama, was born a slave, but he rose above his circumstances and became famous. He was one of the most popular African-American leaders of his era, well known for his political savvy and talent for fundraising. He was also advisor to 2 American presidents. A great man by any standard, Washington was nevertheless an epitome of humility, as he demonstrated in the story. don't assume who people are, I guess. Don't assume, there's a little bit of synchronicity here. Because one of the things I think about when I travel is how I appear, how I come off. I don't want to, especially if I'm flying first class, I want to look like I belong there. Because if I don't look like I belong there, and there is an issue, I am less likely to receive support or assistance or honest communication. If I am dressed too well, it seems silly. It's a plane. I bought a new watch for my trip. I intentionally dressed this watch down. It's a perfectly functional, rugged watch, but it cost very little. I think it was like $40. It's a Timex. And it doesn't look fancy. No one's going to rob me for my watch. I have other watches that look far more expensive than they were. Sometimes I will wear one of those on a trip, depending on where I'm going, because a nice watch is a wonderful get out of jail free card in a lot of places. There's a tip for you. A good watch holds its value, and so people are willing to take it in trade on things. If you act like you belong, and part of that is the presentation, then people will assume you belong. I've shared this story, I think, at least once in my kind of past life when I had the IT company. It was common that I had to go pick up computers after hours. And I would be wearing a polo shirt. Sometimes it would have the company logo, but not always. And I would walk in, and eventually, with most of the clients, I stopped asking. I stopped telling people. I was, hey, here to grab the computer. And if it was a night shift, like a hotel or something, they usually had no idea what was going on. And I'm thinking of this one particular incident. Hey, I'm here to pick up the so-and-so's computer. Can you buzz me in? Yeah, I didn't know anything about this. They let me in. I grab a computer. I disconnect it. I'm gone in 60 seconds. Not the movie. If you act like you belong, including your presentation, people will treat you differently. If you act like you don't belong, if you act like you are not good enough, if you present yourself as being less than, people will assume that you are correct and treat you as such. It is incredibly rare, and in fact defies our psychology, our innate psychology, that if someone signals to you that they are less than you, that you will argue with them. I argue with people about it, my friends, the team. I'll challenge them. I'll push them on stuff like that. But for the most part, most people in the world will just assume, all right, well, you're showing up like you're less than me, so I'm going to treat you like you're less than me. Andy asks, are you going to Belize? I'm not going to tell you. Liz says, are you returning to a place you have been before? I've not been to this exact place before. Jenny says, don't assume who people are and never underestimate the value of a kind gesture. Exactly. Frank says, I thought it was a great example of someone who is ambitious, accomplished, and humble. He was a great man, but he didn't let ego get in the way. Yeah. Yeah. I've got a feeling that the reality of the story was a little bit more complex, because he didn't have to say yes, but maybe back then he kind of did. I don't know. Tommy says, the only times I've ever flown first class was doing security work, had to dress accordingly. Was a must. Yeah. Gabe says, act like you belong. Totally. I got into all sorts of places when I was a delivery driver just because I was carrying a clipboard and acted confidently. A polo shirt and a clipboard will get you anywhere. You know what else will get you anywhere? A shirt that says security, or a headset. If you wear a headset with a polo shirt and a clipboard, oh, you're going anywhere. I could if it wasn't for the fact that the places that would be worth going to prove that point end up being illegal and carrying consequences, I would test that theory. Let me grab a headset. Let me put on a polo shirt. Let me grab a clipboard. If it's a black polo shirt and it says security, nobody's going to tell you no. Stacy says, true story. When I first got my whiz-bang DSLR camera around 2002, people treated me as press. Absolutely. Doesn't happen like that anymore. But when Hurricane Irene came around, I got into plenty of places that I wanted to take pictures of. It was like, hey, I'm just taking pictures. And I wouldn't wait. I wasn't asking for permission. I was telling people what I was doing. Most of you have probably heard the saying, it's better to beg forgiveness than ask permission. That's a big part of my life. Look at the things I've been able to do. Not only did I not ask permission, but even still people told me, you can't do that. Well, I'm going to do it. Telling me I can't do something is a pretty solid way of inspiring me to do it. Yeah, Frank says, remember, this was in the days of slavery when the story took place. Absolutely. And that's why I'm saying I think that story was probably a little more complex. He may have been legally or strongly culturally prohibited from saying no to that request, regardless of who he was. Or maybe it was because during his time as a slave, he had become conditioned to say yes. There's also the element of Southern culture where when a woman asks you for something, you're more likely to do it because a woman is asking you for something. There's a lot there. I wasn't there when it happened. Speculating. We're all speculating. Tommy says, although wearing a shirt that says security might get you in trouble, depends on what you do with it. If you say, I am security for this space, well, now you're asserting something. It is not illegal to walk around with a shirt that says security. It is not. Security guards still have to go to the bank. They are not security for the bank. There's nothing illegal about that. If you want the easiest costume to getting stuff done, it's a black polo shirt and a black pair of, let's call it, like ripstop cargo pants, like 511s or something. You wear those, you don't need anything on your belt. Those two things, you can go pretty much anywhere. If you add a clipboard to it, yeah, you're in. So, just a reminder, if you want to see where I'm going and what's going on, if you want some clues, follow me on social media, primarily Instagram at Jeremy Lesniak. That's also the TikTok because Whistlekick TikTok, I don't know what's going on. But everywhere else is at Whistlekick. Go buy gear. I'll ship it on the 15th when I come back. I will start shipping on the 15th. We'll see how many orders come in. I've got a feeling half that's going to be sold before I come back, which is kind of cool. I'll see you tomorrow morning, barring some weirdness. Can't imagine that I won't have Wi-Fi. The hotel has Wi-Fi. Oh, there's a clue. He's going to be at a hotel. Of course he is. I don't know what else. I think that's it. I appreciate you all. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for sharing the morning with me. I hope you have a wonderful day. Quite a few of you will be receiving the first bonus email from the 30-day challenge. I look forward to your feedback. Please open it. There is a bonus workout in there. I gave you, there are 2 bonus emails, one today, one tomorrow. Well, day 31 and day 32, because you didn't all start the same day. And there are some things in there for us too. There's a survey, that I really appreciate it if you could fill out, because that's going to help me get new people into the challenge. And there's also some other options if you want to continue your habit, including the brand new program, Kick Clinic. Do you want to be a better kicker? I wrote a program specifically for that. But Jeremy, everybody does their kicks a little different. That's right. That's why this program is not how to kick. It's how to get stronger. It's how to be more flexible. It's how to have better balance. It's how to be more accurate. It's all the things you needed. It's a good program. Still 10 minutes a day. Still email. All right. Good morning, Zed. Zed says, make it a great day. And I fully agree. Everybody take care. And I will see you tomorrow morning. Take care. Peace.